You know you're supposed to take care of yourself. You know that self-care should be a part of your weekly routines. But you have a lot of responsibilities. You have a lot of people depending on you to take care of them, to provide for them, and to be there for them. It's really easy to start to feel guilty when you try to take time for yourself. So I want to discuss some ways that we can tackle that feeling of guilt, move through, and get it done when self-care feels selfish. Recently, I was talking to a friend who had posed a question on Facebook. She's got 3 little boys, and she knows that she needs to take care of herself, and she wants to take care of herself. But when she sets a boundary or asks for help or decides that she's going to take some time for herself, she has this overwhelming sense of guilt. Does that sound familiar? I know it does for me. The reality is that we get a lot of social pressure and a lot of internal pressure to be all the things all the time. And we simply can't do it. And we definitely can't do it when we aren't taking care of ourselves. What do we do when we feel selfish about taking care of ourselves? Well, there's a few things that we can do that will help us work through those feelings. They're never going to go away, but there are a few steps that we can take that will put it in proper perspective and help us to find ways to take care of ourselves. The first thing is we have to acknowledge our feelings. Our feelings are important. They do matter. And they do give us an indication of something going on. Acknowledge that you're feeling guilty. But the next step is important because you can't sit in the guilt or you'll never move forward. The second step is to recognize what the truth is. Now, the truth is if you have little kids, they do need you. But you can still carve out times, even with the littlest of kids, to take care of yourself. It may be asking for a little help. It might be taking a little time while they're taking a nap or while they're sleeping or while they're at preschool, carving out those little bits of time. But recognize that while they do need you, they won't die if you take 15 minutes for yourself. In fact, you might find that they actually thrive when you start to carve out that time to take care of you because you can show up as a better mom. You can show up happier and more content, have more patience, and not lose your temper and yell. Now, none of us are perfect. We know that we have guilty feelings. But now we've taken some time and reviewed what the actual truth is. And we've adjusted our expectations. Now, what we have to do is start to recreate our thoughts. Our thoughts have power. While our feelings are important, we can't always trust them. That's why we go back to what is the truth. And then we can reframe our thinking. The simplest way I can explain this, I do this when I used to say, I'm so busy, I don't have time. And it started to feel icky when I would say that. Now what I say instead is, my life is really full, but it's wonderful. Or, I don't have time. I'm going to start to say, I'm not using my time that way right now. It makes it about my choice instead of this thing that's out of my control. So instead of saying, I feel guilty, say, I feel needed, but I know that I need to do this for me so that I can be there for the people I love. Reframing our thoughts is going to help us deal with these guilty feelings. We're not going to get rid of them completely, but we're going to find ways to work through them, around them, past them, so that we can still find those ways to take care of ourselves. In this process, you're going to have to give yourself a ton of grace. You're going to find ways to deal with it and work with it and work around it. So give yourself tons of grace. My last tip for you, find one baby step, one tiny action that you can take today, something that really takes care of you, whether that is a 10-minute walk, locking yourself in the bathroom and taking a bath, drinking your coffee, whatever it is, something small that's going to give you just that little bit of extra that you need so that you have something in your cup to pour out. I hope these tips have been helpful for you. I'm here for you. Make sure to let me know how these tips are helping you. And if you have any comments, make sure to drop them below. Check out the link below for more encouragement. Have a beautiful day.